Okay, welcome to our book club for this Friday. This is our 4th book club video, and so therefore it is our 4th category that we're in. The first category is book club meeting, which is types of things that you really do in a real book club when you meet together in person. Number 2 category is book questions. I ask you any type of question to do with books. Category number 3 is an active book activity. That was last week. We built a tower with books, or I did. I have not gotten any videos in yet of any of my 2 members that I have doing that yet. Maybe they'll bring them along pretty soon, hopefully. Alright, this week, this category is the sitting book activity, although I am standing up at my crafting table. It just, it really don't matter if you're sitting or standing when you do it, or standing in front of your bookshelf to do it. It just means it's not a very active thing, And I didn't know how else to name it, so that's how I do and name my things. Okay, what we have to do today is look through all of our books that we own and pick out the oldest book that we ever bought, and then the newest book that we ever bought, and show those. Show them, tell the name, tell the author, maybe read the back of it, and tell a little bit about it, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Then we're going to go the copyrighted route. So pick out the oldest and newest book that's copyrighted that you own, and show those, tell the name and the author, read the back of it, what it's about, and tell a little bit about it, what you liked and what you didn't like. That's what you have to do today. Okay, so my books, I'm going to start with the bought books first. I went through all of my books, the ones I have read and the ones I have not read. And right now, that's last week, y'all seen, it's not very many. It's what I have here. Most of my books, I do have a lot. Because in Mississippi, and I don't know if I told y'all this, in Mississippi, I had what I called a library room. And I had shelves from floor to ceiling. And they were almost, not quite, but they were almost. And it wasn't the whole room, it wasn't all walls, it was 2 of the walls that were shelves from floor to ceiling, and they were all almost full of books, okay? There were some empty spaces, and there were some spaces that I had like little whatnots here and there that wasn't books. But most of it was filled up with books, so I do have a lot of books that are still packed up in our trailer out and back. When we move, I hope to have a big enough room, and I hope I can get some more shelves that I can set all my books out. I want to unpack all of my stuff. I have other crafting stuff packed up out there too that I had back in Mississippi. So anyway, what I got here now in my hobby room, craft room, the oldest book that I bought out of all of these, now this is not the copyrighted route, this is just the bought route. So the oldest book that I have bought was this one. I bought it a long time ago in yard sale. So this is the book. It's The Owings of Dallas. It's a soap opera show, an old one. This is by Bert Herskfield, and it says the blistering uncut saga of the secret passions and scandals of TV's favorite family. And it says down here, based on the series created by David Jacobs. So it's after the show, okay? And this is showing some pictures of everybody here. Now I remember watching these when I was little, but a while back, me and my husband was watching them, and we was trying to get through all of them, but we ended up stopping, not getting through all of them. But I liked the show, and then when I read this book, it didn't really happen exactly like it did on the show in the book. So I was a little bit disappointed about that. I was looking for it to you know, go just like the show did. But the book don't, so I was disappointed in that. So that's the oldest one. Okay, this is going to be the newest book that I've bought. It's been a little while back now, but it's still the newest thing that I bought. It is, I went to a, sorry, lost train of thought there for a minute. I went to a used bookstore, and I bought I bought 3 books actually, and these are actually the 3 right here. But this is the one I'm using for the newest book that I bought then. It's called Family Secrets. The author is Marley Chevalier, if I'm saying that right. It says up here, for an innocent little girl, for a beautiful young woman, Tara awaits among family secrets. Down here it says, a novel of unrelenting suspense in the tradition of Mary Higgins Clark. And I'm going to read the back of it. I have not read this book yet, so I don't know anything about it. I'm going to read the back of it to you. Someone was waiting. Sweet, innocent little Kendra, helpless witness to her parents' murder. She saw the knife, the blood, and the shadowy figure of their killer before embarking on a desperate flight to save herself. Someone was hiding. 18 years later, Kendra is a lovely woman with a new name, a new family, and no memory of her first 6 years or of the fortune that is her legacy. Someone was ready to kill again, but now she will begin to discover herself, the roots she sprang from, her inheritance, and the strange, unfamiliar relatives who would have gained so much if she had never come back. Now she will plunge into the terrors of her past to save her future, while someone watches and waits, keeping the darkest of all, the family secrets. So that sounds really good. I cannot wait to read it. So, that's that one. Now we're going to go the copyrighted route. So the oldest copyrighted book that I have here right now is this one by Agatha. Can y'all see that? It's like a glares on it. By Agatha Christie. The name of it is Double Sin. Now that's the name of the book, but actually this book has several little bitty short stories in it. I'm making a video. You'll just have to wait or either come in during the video. So it's Double Sin. It says right here, featuring Hercule Parrot. If I say his name right, I'm going to put that up close for y'all to see if I can. Because I would like, if I'm not saying that right, I say Hercule Parrot. If I am not saying that right, I would like for y'all to let me know. I would really appreciate that because I'd like to know how to say it right. Featuring Hercule Parrot and the incomparable Miss Marple. Now, I love Miss Marple with Agatha Christie. At least in the little movie shows that they make. I have watched some of the Agatha Christie's mysteries and the little mystery shows with Miss Marple being the old lady that solves the mystery. I don't care. You can come on in. I am doing a video. What is it? What is it? I just see papers in your hand. Well, I'm sorry, you don't want to be on it, don't want to talk, then you're going to have to wait. But anyway, so it's more exciting, or I have done read, you can see where my bookmark is, I've done read some of these short stories. I'll come here and read the names of all the stories in here to you. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stories. The first one's Double Sin, Wasp's Nest, The Theft of the Royal Ruby, The Dressmaker's Doll. I was very disappointed in The Dressmaker's Doll. Now, as far as the whole story, I loved it. As I was reading it, I was loving it. It was fun. I was all excited. It was like it was my kind of thing. I was so very disappointed in how it ended. Oh, Lord, it didn't make sense how it ended. It didn't explain nothing. It just didn't end right. I was so very disappointed in it. Then they have Greenshaw's Folly. That one was pretty good. The Double Clue, The Last Seance, and Secretary. I am on The Last Seance now, and then I have The Secretary, and I'll be through with this book. But as I was saying, I love watching the little shows, mystery shows, of Agatha Christie where Miss Marple is on there. She's a little old white-headed lady, and she solves the mysteries. But basically, the way she solves them, she don't have to do anything. She sits there and thinks about it, and then she's solved the mystery. She'll tell you how it all is and who done it or whatever, and why they done it. So I like that. So that's the oldest copy. Oh, I meant to tell you. I'm sorry. We're supposed to tell. The copyright of that book is 1929. So that was old. Okay, the newest copyrighted book that I have. Let me, before I forget, go to the copyright and tell you that. If I can find it. Is 2009. Okay. This book is a Mrs. Jeffries in the Nick of Time. The author is Emily Brightwell, okay? So it's a series. There's a Mrs. Jeffries. She's a housekeeper. And the person that's rich and owns the home and lives in the home is a man, and she's his housekeeper. They have other maids and butlers and stuff like that, and she's over all of them. And I love it. And he's actually, it's in England or whatever, or London, or over there in Britain, or whatever it's called, and all that may be the same place. I don't really know. But anyway, he's actually, they don't call him a cop, but that's what I take it that he is. They call it something else. Let me see if I can go to the beginning. Well, it may read back here. Let me read the back. I have not read this one yet. I've read some of this kind before, the Mrs. Jeffries before. So this one is Mrs. Jeffries in the Nick of Time. Up here it says a Victorian mystery. Mrs. Jeffries is the Miss Marple of Victorian mystery. The paperback form. Okay, Emily Brightwell. Alright, let's read the back. A model uncle. Train enthusiast Francis Humphreys was drawing his last breath while his relatives and neighbors were over for tea. But Inspector, that's what they call him, Inspector. But I, look at it as that means he's a cop or a type of a detective that can solve mysteries and such. Works at a police station, but over there they call it that. But Inspector Witherspoon wonders if everyone was downstairs, who could have stolen into Uncle Francis's second-story study, killed him, and escaped. Mrs. Jeffries will have to lend her downstairs common sense to this upstairs murder mystery and hope that she and the inspector don't get derailed. A Mrs. Jeffries mystery. This part right here is going to explain what I was trying to explain a while ago, what she does, Mrs. Jeffries. She keeps house for Inspector Witherspoon and keeps him on his toes. Everyone's awed by his Scotland Yard successes, but they don't know about his secret weapon, no matter how messy the murder or how dirty the deed. Mrs. Jeffries' polished detection skills are up to the task, proving that behind every great man there's a woman, and that a crime solver's work is never done. Okay, now that didn't really explain it. So, Inspector Witherspoon is the cop, the one that supposedly solves the mysteries, but really and truly he's not very good at it. He don't really know how to do it. He always has a hard time. His housekeeper, Mrs. Jeffries, loves to solve mysteries. So every evening when he comes home to work, she fixes him tea, she sits down, she talks to him, and she asks him questions and gets him to tell her all about the newest case that he's working on. So then she goes downstairs and they have meetings. She's the housekeeper, and she's over like all the maids and the footmen and all those different things like that they have. Those, staff people in the home. She's over all of them, and they'll get down in the kitchen where they cook, where they eat, where it's their room. He eats up, more in the dining room, the prettier part. And they sit around their wooden table and they have a meeting. And she explains to them about the case. And then she assigns different activities and tasks for each one of them to go do, to figure out, to learn more about the mystery. Some of them's got to follow him. Some of them's got to go to the street and to the house of the person that done it, or they thought done it, or that was killed, and blah, blah, blah. And they each one do a part. And then every evening they come back and they have their meeting and think about it and talk about it, and then she'll talk with him when he comes in, and it's like she's saying, she'll ask him what he's, to update her on the case, and he does, and then she'll say, well, maybe it's something like, because he'll be like puzzled, and he'll say, I don't know about this, and then she'll say, well, maybe it's like this. She puts the ideals in his head, and then he goes the next day to the police department and uses those ideals, and that's how he ends up solving the mystery. But it's really Mrs. Jeffries and her crew that's doing the work and solving it, and then putting the ideals in his head, making him think he's doing it, and everybody else thinks he's doing it. There is a few close friends out there that has caught on and knows that Mrs. Jeffries and the others are doing it, and they, keep it quiet. They don't tell him or anybody else. So that's what I like about it. That's really fun. So that's that one. Now, I did put this out. It's not a book that you hold and read. It's an audio book, and it's not one I bought. I checked it out at the library. But it's actually the last one that I bought. It's called Trapdoor. I'm listening to it. It's got 7 discs, CDs, and I've got 2 more. I got 6 and 7 to listen to. I've actually had to recheck it out because I didn't get finished with it. So I got to finish that and get it back to the library. It's pretty good. It's by Sarah Graves. The name of it is Trapdoor. And they also have the narrator, the one that's talking, is Lindsay Ellison. So that's that. But I'll read the back of it. Trapdoor. A home repair is homicide mystery. Spring has sprung in Eastport, Maine, and in Jacobia, Jake is short for Jacobia, Tiptree's 1823 Federal-style fixer-upper. That means a house cleaning so thorough even the skeletons in the closet get polished, but nothing can prepare Jake for what she'll uncover. A trio of mysteries certain to make her usual home repair projects seem as simple as scraping paint. What do an old book hidden in Jake's cellar, the appearance of her ex-husband's ghost, and the murder of her housekeeper's son have in common? Only Jake can jigsaw the clues into place, and she'd better do it fast before a killer snares her in a trap she can't escape. So, it's interesting. I like it too. So that's my books, my new and old books I've showed y'all, both that I bought and copyrighted. I hope y'all understand what I'm meaning by all that. Y'all make y'all's videos and show y'all's, and read them and tell about them, and what you liked and didn't like. And this is today for the book club. This is going to be part 1 video, and I have a part 2 video. It will be a spotlight for another lady. Her channel, she deals with books. So I'll be back with that. It won't be hooked onto this. It's going to be a separate video because this one was quite long. It's 18:18. So, but I will put it as a part 2 of my book club video. Alright. Ta-ta till next week.